It's actually starting to feel mildly autumnal at the minute and I'm already getting ill. Winter. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice and today I'm going to be doing another Enchanted Endeavours episode, and this one will be all about magic wands and also how to create your own Wiccan or Witch's wand. So this episode did take a lot of work because it is quite a complex subject and so many people are really confused about wands and how they work. This episode will be about what wands are, why Wiccans use wands, whether they're actually magical or not, also different types of wand and finding which wand is right for you. Then for the last part of the video I'll be showing you my personal wand and also explaining a kind of little tutorial on how to create your own wand, and then also explaining how to use your wand and consecrate your wand so they're ready for use in your witchcraft and your practices. So we're covering a lot today. I'm not gonna ramble on for too long today because we do have so much to cover, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do not see my last Enchanted Endeavours episode, it was about the Wiccan holiday Lammas, so I will pop a playlist in the description down below with all my Enchanted Endeavours episodes. And there is also a disclaimer down below for anybody thinking of being a bone dethroner, but other than that, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching and let's just hop right into it. Starting with the absolute basic of all basics, I'm sure you guys already know this, but what actually are wands? I'm sure all of you know what a wand is or have seen it in like TV shows, films, Harry Potter. So a wand is a magical tool that we use in our practices that is usually made from natural materials, but most commonly wood. But there's a lot of different things that wands can be made from. So why do Wiccans use wands and are they actually magical? So there's obviously a lot of stigma around what a wand actually is, and I'm sure you guys have seen things like Harry Potter, I think you associate wands with being able to like flick a wand and something appears in front of you. Unfortunately, in reality, wands do not work that way, but they are still absolutely incredible, magical, helpful tools that we can use to our advantage a lot. The purpose of an actual wand, which was what witches and Wiccans use, is to channel energy or project energy into a certain space or an object or whatever. So it's obviously used a lot in Wicca, in spell work and ritual work, etc. Wands can also attract energy other than just directing energy into something, different elements and not just direct energy. So they're obviously a very huge tool for Wiccans and witches to use. The wand does not possess the power. We possess the power, the energy, and we use the wand as a magical tool to kind of direct our energy through and combine it through our wand to send energy to something. So yes, they're obviously a magical tool, but not in a typical way that you think of in films and books and stuff like that. Also, another thing to add, you may have already gathered, but a lot of tools that you have and that you use in your witchcraft and Wicca practices, you may have already gathered that if you'd watched my casting circles video and things like that. In my opinion, I feel like is related to air. A lot of people see this differently. Some people relate it to fire, some people relate it to earth because it's built out of wood. I relate it to air. Everybody relates it to things like that differently, but it's your choice what element you relate it to. So now we've determined what wands are, the power that they possess, and why Wiccans use wands in their practices. Now it is time to talk about different types of wands. Again, there's loads and loads of different types of wands that you may have heard wands being made of, like crystal wands, wands made out of stone, etc. But the main type of wand that I have heard about personally the most is a wand made out of wood. Again, this is just what I have been taught and what I've learned. Obviously, I think loads and loads of witches and Wiccans have wands made out of tons of different things, not just wood, but that is just what I think is the most common thing to see. A wand is usually made from wood, but not just any type of wood. A lot of people choose to create their wand from or buy their wand that is related to their birth tree, so made out of their birth tree or their Celtic birth tree, or a tree that you just have a really strong connection with, and you may not have a strong connection with your birth tree or your Celtic birth tree or anything like that. That's totally fine. If you have a tree that you just genuinely feel a lot of connection to, then you can make your wand out of that, and that would probably be the best thing to do. If you're not really sure and you don't really know if you feel a connection to your birth tree, or you don't really know if you feel a connection to any tree and you're just not sure, lots of different trees that are really great for wands have amazing properties. You can always look up the properties of the tree, and whichever one suits you best, then you could purchase or make your wand out of that tree. Then again, even though trees possess certain properties, I do feel like everybody feels different. Everybody gets a different aura off a tree, no matter what its properties are. So I just personally think if you can, the best way to go for it is if you feel a connection to it, if it feels right to you. A lot of people believe that purely your wand should only be made by your own self. I do completely understand that. I do understand how people think that your tree should just be made by you, and then once you're done with it, either you should keep the other one in a certain place while you make your new one, or you should pass it down. And some people say that you should just be given a wand, and store-bought wands are like kind of, they're really against it and things like that, but I don't think this is correct, personally, in my opinion anyway. I just think it depends how connected you are to a wand. I definitely think it's a great idea to create your own wand if you can, because from the start, from when you go collect the wood, you are putting your energy into this bit of wood. So I definitely think it is like a massive connection from the start. If you really feel connected to the wood and you go get it and stuff like that, obviously your energy, your positive energy that you're putting into it is going into it from the beginning while you're making it and everything like that. So I definitely think it's an amazing idea to create your wand if you can. But I do definitely think if you have found one either online or in a store or something like that, you're just like, have an instant connection with, and you're like, I need to buy this one, then I definitely think you should go for it. I think it's all a very personal thing, a very personal item. So anything that just fits in with you and works with you from the start, I think is completely fine. Never just go against someone's decision and make a load of wands that you don't feel right if you've seen one in a store that you think is perfect for you. Just go with whatever feels right from the start. Wands are mostly traditionally over 6 inches long, but again, I definitely think it depends on who's making it. I always like my wands to be a little bit bigger. Again, I think it can depend. You can find bits of wood that may have been broken off the tree or just lying around in the woods or something, and they may be perfect for your wand. But always make sure they're not too thin and they're quite sturdy. Although wands can be used for all types of magic that you may be doing, some different types of wood possess obviously certain properties like I spoke about, and excel in areas as well. So you may want to look that up as well while influencing your decision. But again, I all just think it's to do with what feels right and what your connection is. Also, if you're creating your own wand, you should make sure it is completely unique to you. Decorations can be put onto your wand to enhance the connection between both of you and the energy between you two. You can add ribbon, paint, string, pine cones, fake flowers, etc. and even crystals too, which you may have seen commonly if you've seen any wands online, or actually on my old wand if you watched my altar video. If you are going to decorate your wand with a crystal or buy a wand and add a crystal, always make sure that this crystal is, again, personal to you, one of your favorite crystals, or a crystal that you feel is right for it, or you have a great deal of connection to. It's all, again, very personal. And of course, also, you may have seen on my last one too, you can decorate your wand with symbols as well. Some choose to do runic symbols all over their wand for protection and things like that, and each one means a different thing, so they're quite nice to do since the symbols are very basic and they're just easy to put on. Or a symbol that may be quite relevant to your practices or things like that, just like symbols that, again, you feel a great deal of connection to. Of course, you may want to leave your wand completely plain, and once again, that is absolutely fine. Leaving your wand plain is definitely an option. Some people just feel like they work better when they just have a plain wand, and that is great as well. Or it can be a work in progress. You know, you can always add to it as you go along if you're not sure how you want to decorate it at the beginning. And if you are planning to get a store-bought one, always make sure if there is anything on it like symbols, crystals, etc., all relevant to you, and you do feel a massive connection to this as well. Again, if it just feels right and the aura's right, then go for it. Just make sure you get a good aura from the whole entire wand, if you know what I'm saying. Again, I know people ask me if you can have more than one wand at once. Yes, as far as I know, you can have more wand at once. Some Wiccans and witches have wands for various amount of things, but I personally only ever have one at a time, and once I'm done with it, I pass it down, or if it broke or something, I do a ritual with it or something like that. People believe you should only ever have one personal wand, and that is it, and that's totally fine either way. But as far as I know, I think it's okay to have lots of different wands. I personally like to have one main wand, but I think it's okay to own a lot of wands and maybe just use one for your practices. Again, I'm not really sure. I've only ever had one at a time, so I'm not clear on the subject, so please correct me if I'm wrong. I just like to kind of have a bond with one, but I'm aware that people will feel differently. Much like tarot cards, some people believe that you can have a lot of set of tarot cards, and some people only like to have one set of tarot cards. It just works differently for everybody. Now I'm only going to be showing you this quickly. I'm going to be showing you my wand. So I've only ever had 3 wands since I started doing Wicca. I had the first one for a very, very long time, and it was just a plain wooden one out of some oak, and I didn't have a great deal of connection to it, so I did enjoy using it, and I did have it for quite a while to start with. I kind of got used to it, and I got used to the practices and things like that, but I did lose a lot of connection to it towards the end. Then I made my second one, which again I did have a while, which you may have seen in my Instagram pictures, or obviously in my altar video. This lasted me a while, and it wasn't super successful. I made it myself, whereas the first one I bought. I actually made it out of willow. It just felt completely right for me. Red string around the top and the bottom near the handle, and I had some tassels hanging off and some little flowers on it, and I also had a quartz gem at the top. I also decorated the top of it with some gold paint and the bottom of it with some protection runic symbols and some symbols that were really close to me, and I used it for a lot of different things in spell work for a great deal of time. Earlier this year, like a couple of months ago, maybe like 3 months ago now, I was using it for a spell and the gem fell off the top. It just completely came off. It was completely sturdy for absolutely ages, and then it just fell off. I tried to refix it, but after that happened, I just didn't feel the same connection to it as I had before. I was planning to make a new one out of willow that was a bit more sturdy and without a gem for absolutely months and months and months, and I always wanted to, but I just didn't know when was the right time. I always kind of went to the willow tree where I got the wood from before, and when I asked the tree for permission, I never felt like it was the right time. And then I walked into a local pagan shop that I go to quite a lot, literally caught my eye from the corner, and there was this bunch of wands just sitting there. And I never ever in my life had been like, I need that wand more than like ever. Like, I looked at wands online, I never felt like they were right, and I just looked to the side, I saw this wand, and I was like, that is my wand. Like, I was just drawn to as hell, and I was like, I need to get that wand. This wand just felt special to me. I've never been so set towards getting a wand before. So it is made from hazel. Hazel is one of my favorite trees ever. Like, I love hazel so much, and I've always had a massive strong connection to hazel, and I had some elemental symbols engraved to the kind of halfway towards the top of the wand. Then at the bottom half of the wand, which I loved even more, which there are these symbols for the seasons at the bottom of the wand, which I just thought was perfect. And once again, it's not made from my Celtic birth tree or my birth tree or anything like that, but since I started using this one, since I got it, I just felt like I was going to be with this wand for years. Like, it just feels like my wand, and I'm so obsessed with it, and I'm so happy I managed to find it. I feel like that's the reason why I always felt like it was wrong, which I went to the same willow tree that I'd gone to previously. I'd always kind of felt like it was wrong, and I feel like that is why. Next, we're going to be talking about how to create a wand. So I'm not going to be doing a step-by-step visual tutorial on how to create a wand or how I previously made my wands or anything like that, just because I feel like it's so personal to each witch and Wiccan, and honestly there's actually not a ton to it. It's more about the thought behind it, and you know, the connection you have to the tree and the personal decorations and things like that that are the important part. It's more the thought behind it and the connection to it that matters. So I feel like just showing you how to create this wand wouldn't be right. There's only really a few basic steps what I took to create my wand, and the rest of it was all very personal. So I thought instead I would just tell you the basic steps that I took. But I'm just going to be telling you the steps that I took to help you out if any of you are super confused, have no idea how to create a wand, and still are so like mind baffled by like what I'm talking about, which is completely fine. I understand it's a very confusing subject, to be honest. Of course, this is just how I made my previous wands. Just because I make it this way does not make it right, does not mean you should make your wands this way, does not mean it is going to be right for you. You know, everybody does things differently, and that's totally okay, but I'm just doing this to help anybody out that is just super new to this and just wants to know how to create a wand. Starting the kind of steps to create a wand, before I do anything, before I get the wood, anything like that, I like to cleanse the materials that I'm going to be using to create this wand. So even like the knife that I might have to cut a bit of the tree out of, anything like that, I like to just cleanse all of my materials, and of course everybody does this differently. So firstly, I found this specific type of wood near a willow tree nearby, and it was actually a branch that was hanging off the tree. It was just a small little branch, but it was perfect size, so I took that branch. But if you are planning to go get a bit of wood from a specific tree and actually have to cut it off the tree, always ask the tree and always, you know, get permission from the tree to do it. and then always thank the tree afterwards and give them water or however you like to thank your tree. Don't worry if it's a bit misshapen or anything like that. It will not affect the energy that is flowing through it. It doesn't have to be completely straight. Actually, a lot of people prefer their wand to be slightly misshapen. Then I set the wood to dry on my wood burner. I placed it on top of my wood burner. But if you obviously do not have a wood burner or anything like that, then you can hang it in your room or put it in a warm, dry space. Then some people like to leave it to a new moon or the next waxing moon or the next appropriate Sabbath to create a wand, or some people just like to leave it a full month. Some people even just like to leave it a few days. Again, this is totally preference to the Wiccan and when you feel like it's ready. Once I had completely dried the wood, I stripped the bark off it, which is, again, your choice completely. You don't have to strip the bark of it. Some people like the bark on it. On my new one, I have bark on my wood and I absolutely love it. It's completely your choice. And then I sanded it down so it was all nice and smooth. Some people like to gloss it. Other people don't like to gloss it because they feel like it's blocking the energy through it. And some people don't think it does and they like to gloss their ones so it's all nice and smooth and not very easy to break, and there's no rough edges or anything like that. And as I'm doing these steps, always remember to put all your positive energy into the video, you know, connect with it as you're making it. It's getting used to your patterns. You need to put all of your energy into it. Don't just do it and like chuck it around and everything like that. Connect with it. And once you've done that, that is obviously what a basic wand can just be. But what I did to personally decorate it after that, I placed a quartz on the top of mine, and the quartz had like a flat bottom, especially if you're putting it on top or at the bottom of it near the handle, just because it will stay a lot easier if you do that. Obviously, if you're placing just gems on the side and things like that, then that is totally fine. Whatever you'd like, just use your imagination. I binded my crystal with super glue just because my top was a little too thin for the crystal. I kind of binded the rest of it with the string, and it did stay for obviously quite a long time. But a lot of people do not like to use super glue. They feel like it stops the energy from flowing, but again, this is completely personal choice. Some people don't care, some people do. So if not, you can bind it with wire or string or something like that. Of course, you do not have to take any of these steps the same way that I did. You're not even required to decorate your wand in any way. Just do whatever feels right for you. And that is pretty much all there was to it. But now you've created your wand is a complete just random little bit of decorated wood or non-decorated wood until you've put your energy and power into it. Remember that this is just a tool. Itself holds the power and the energy. Your magical wand is just an extension of that. Now I'm actually going to be showing you this as an actual visual tutorial on how to consecrate your wand. Just because this is a bit more complicated than me just talking at you explaining it, it's going to be hard to understand, so it's all ready for use in your practices. Remember, this is only my way of consecrating things. You may already have a way of consecrating your wand. This is just a way for any beginners that are completely stuck and have no idea what they are doing. And also, before I do this consecrating kind of ritual thing that I do, I always like to get the wand used to my pattern. Some people like to do this after the consecrating ritual, some people like to do it before. I like to do it before, some people don't like to do it at all. I like to meditate with the wand quite a lot. Also, I like to sleep with it near me so it kind of gets used to my patterns. Just get the connection flowing before I do the ritual, but again, that's personal preference. So the next step in incorporating your wand into your life, into your practices, is to consecrate it. Some people, like I do this by doing a ritual where basically you consecrate it with every element and welcome it to your practices, and that is what I'm going to be showing you today. So you can do this super simple at your altar or a semi-permanent altar you may have set up if you feel like there's a certain place you would like to do this ritual. I'm going to be showing you this in the same place that I did my casting circles video, which is not the place I would usually do things, but for the sake of this video, for the sake of the demonstration, that is where I'm going to be doing it. Also have a semi-permanent altar set up, again, for the sake of this video. With all that being said, let's get started. So to perform my method of consecrating your wand, what you will need at your altar is some salt, some of your water that you may have at your altar, sage or incense, depending on what you like to use. For this specific ritual, I always like to use incense, just because it is way easier to use, and you will see why. And also a lit candle. And for this particular ritual, I put all the elements at the 4 points around me, just because it makes it a lot easier to perform this ritual and it flows really well. The first step of consecrating your wand is to obviously cleanse the area and invite all of the elements and cast a circle as I normally would. If you don't know how to cast a circle, I actually have a video on how to cast a circle that I did a couple of Enchanted Endeavours episodes ago. So again, that will be in the playlist in the description down below. And again, like I did in my casting circles video, facing the east direction. Once again, this is just the direction I start with, so you may have a different direction, but it's your choice. I then hold my wand with both my hands and say, I choose this wand to assist me within my work. Still holding it with both hands, I then close my eyes and visualize the unwanted energy leaving the wand that it may have picked up from where you got it from or from where you purchased it from, and just see and feel the negativity leaving. Close your eyes and see it leaving through the wand, and you feel like all of the unwanted energy is gone and you've got every last bit of it away and you've pushed it away. I then begin to do what I do when I begin to cast a circle. I point the wand out in the east direction and I visualize a white light and the positive energy rooting from the bottom of my feet, traveling through my body into this wand, sending all the light and positivity as I can. And I visualize this white light traveling through my wand and building up in this wand. Again, some people do not see a white light, some people see a gold or a pink or any other colour, just whatever positive colour that you may be seeing, but this is just the colour that I see. And after I visualise this light building my wand and I feel it streaming out, streaming through, I then turn to face the south, and I start with the south because I like to consecrate my wand with air last, because I feel like it is a seal for the wand's consecration. So I turn to the south and I end with the east. I hold the wand in front of me to the south, still visualizing this white light traveling through and out this wand. Because we're facing the east direction is the element of fire for me. Then I turn and I say, power of fire, cleanse and fill this wand I've chosen for my magic. And then I bend down and I pass my wand through the flame, and then I say, I bless and make this wand sacred. Tool of my craft, I charge this wand by the element of fire. I then turn to face the west and I'm going around in a clockwise direction, and I point the wand forward again, still, and I say, power of water, cleanse and fill this wand I've chosen for my magic. I then bend down, take some water and sprinkle a few drops of water onto the wand, and I say, I bless and make this wand sacred. Tool of my craft, I charge this wand by the element of water. I then go around once again and turn to the north, and I hold my wand pointing in front of me again, and I say, the powers of the earth, cleanse and fill the wand I have chosen for my magic. And I then pick up and take a pinch of salt and sprinkle it slightly over my wand, and I say, while doing this, bless and make this wand sacred. Tool of my craft, I charge this wand with the element of earth. And lastly, I turn to face the east, and still pointing my wand out in front of me, with both my hands, I say, power of air, cleanse and fill this wand I have chosen for my magic. I then pass the wand through the smoke of the incense, and I say, I bless this sacred wand. Tool of my craft, I charge this wand by the element of air. Then I take my wand, put it above me, and then I go and touch it below me and bring it to my chest and say, this tool is ready to assist me within my work, being consecrated and charged, so blessed it be. And after you've done that ritual, all you need to do is work with your wand. You need to practice with it. The more you use it, the more connected you'll feel with it, and then therefore the more positive and effective the results of your magic and your spell work and your use of the wand in general. So if your method is casting your circle with a wand, then I definitely recommend doing it straight away for your casting circles. You know, start using it. After a few uses of your wand, much like crystals, your wand may need recharging. All your magical tools need recharging and cleansing every so often. And I do not do this the same as that ritual. I do it in a very, very different way. I'm not actually going to be explaining to you how I recharge things. So I do charge it quite often using the sun and the moon, and once again seal it with incense or sage, but I will be speaking about that more when I talk about spell work, charging things, etc., more magical tool things. After you've done these steps, in my opinion, your wand is ready to be used. Things you can actually use your wand for is completely endless. There's so many different things in your practices that you can use your wand for, but I'm probably going to get more into that when I talk more about spells and magic and rituals on my channel. But for now, everybody uses their wand in different ways, and I think that's amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoyed this episode all about magic wands and things like that. I really hope it helped you out in some sort of way. Obviously, this is such a huge subject. If there is anything else more specifically you'd like me to talk about, then I'd be more than happy to do something like that on my channel if you guys would like, or maybe ask questions on Snapchat or my next Q&A or something if you have any questions. I hope I managed to get it across as clearly as I possibly could. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoyed this Enchanted Endeavours episode, and I will be seeing you later on this week with another video, which will be a beauty related video. So I really, really hope you enjoy. I hope you're having an amazing week, and I will see you soon. Bye guys. Woo!